Okay, we're back. Depending on how much trouble or how much time it takes us to get through Crypt, we will probably not just clear this, but we will take out some of depths as well, maybe. Probably won't be going into Vaults 5 yet. Interesting little vault here. These mummies will pop out as you walk by, but they're not really a risk to us right now. Although I'm not a fan of the death curses that the greater mummies will give you. You do have to watch out for those, because we're slow now, and as I mentioned, that's one of the worst things to be. So let's put some bodies between us and all this nastiness. Just kind of let them do the work. We're really just in here to get some experience. You'll notice that death curses can do all kinds of nasty things to you. We've suffered some rot here. We're not going to immediately cure that, though. I'm sure eventually we'll need to drink a curing potion or a heal potion, and that'll deal with it for us. Most of the stuff in here is really not that much of a challenge. With any luck, we may get an artifact ring or two out of the loot at the end. Of course, we are not going to go into the tomb yet. In fact, with the remake to Tomb, chances are good we won't be going in there at all until the very end of the game. It may, in fact, be the last rune that we get. It's just a bit dangerous. And even though it does have a very nice reward at the end, lots and lots of acquirement tier items, it's just not really worth the risk. The vampire mages can be a bit dangerous because they can summon creatures from here, including, as you can see, flayed ghosts apparently. And if you don't have See Invisible, they can go invisible, and then all you have are their summons around you, so you want to be careful against them. Also, there's not a ton of food in here. The only living things, as far as I know, are the deep elf death mages that show up occasionally, and like here's one now. Death knights. I think necromancers can show up too. So this is essentially a foodless vault, or a foodless branch rather. Or close to it. This is a door vault here. Inside of this ruined square of doors is a big collection of tough monsters. And in my experience, there really isn't any loot in there. Just a bunch of experience. Oh, whoops. I seem to have made a mistake here. I'm not sure why I'm training air magic. We only wanted to do translocations. That's a mistake. Wonder how that happened and when. Well, anyway, back to translocations. Hopefully we'll gain some more gold soon, because we really want that manual of conjurations. By the time we can afford it, we should have translocations to a high enough level that we're ready to train conjurations again, and we can get Iron Shot to just a little bit more spell power, hopefully. Okay, Crypt 1 is totally explored except for this. I am going to open this because we have Malign Gateway. So if we just summon, whoa. Yeah, if we just open it up and let the gateway do the work, we're fine. Although we do have quite a collection of things inside here. So we're going to try to blink out a few squares. And let's see what the tentacle can do for us. Along with some horrible things here. Bolt of Fire. Now, Ancient Liches are very powerful, especially at this point in the game, so best not to underestimate them. Trying to keep no line of fire between me and the Ancient Lich, because they can spawn with Crystal Spear in their spell list. In fact, we're pretty much just letting all of our minions do the work for us. Yes, Vampire Knights can blink close. That doesn't come as a surprise to me, but this Executioner does. He must have been summoned by... He must have been summoned by the Ancient Lich. Well, we have a lot of teleport. Let's go ahead and use one. That's not so bad. We'll go to the staircase and we'll rest up and we'll see if we can't finish these guys off. This guy's spell power is good enough that he even has a small chance of confusing us despite us having 3 pips of MR. But at least we know what spells he has right now. Let's hope that the tentacle deals with him. Can't reach. This is unfortunate. Hopefully he doesn't summon Greater Demon at us. We're just gonna blink away. And we're gonna let these guys do the work for us. There we go. Tentacle gets him. Okay. As expected, we didn't really get any loot. Got this bread ration, I guess. We'll go ahead and eat it. Unfortunately, this is the only artifact jewelry we've gotten so far as this amulet. No artifact rings. Hoping to change that. Need a little bit of snare dancing here. You know, outside of the occasional Ancient Lich spawned by a vault, or maybe even Greater Mummy spawned by a vault, Crypts is pretty easy. It's a little bit of a reprieve from vaults and the nasty things that you can run into there. Gotta be a little bit careful here, though. we didn't start having more defenses other than these resistances at any point, so we have to remember we can't stay in melee. At least we shouldn't. And these ghouls are more dangerous than they look. I mean, 147 hit points, so they don't go down very quickly, and they can hit you for 30 damage twice. Some really good spells to have in here if you're willing to train some necromancy. Dispel undead. Almost everything in here is undead, so if you've got that, you have almost nothing to fear in here outside of uniques. Even control undead is handy to have in here, because there is a lot of low-level undead. Skeleton zombies. Even the greater mummies can be controlled. These ghouls can be controlled. We don't like being surrounded by ghouls. Let's go this way. Just kind of letting the tentacle do the work when we can, so that we're not in danger. It's the main benefit of summonings. So of course sound does travel pretty quickly or loudly in this area, so you can expect to be surrounded a lot or surprised by enemies a lot if you're making any noise, which you more or less have to if you want to kill things. Thankfully, with 2 pips of negative resistance, we're not really having too much of a problem with the various things that can bolt of negative you, and bolt of draining. We haven't seen one of these guys yet. That's an ancient champion. They have a couple of different spellbooks they can spawn with. If he has Iron Shot, that might be a little obnoxious for us, because he can haste himself, and they will just haste themselves and spam Iron Shot on you as fast as possible. They're also not too bad in melee, but they die fast enough. Okay, we're already at the bottom of Crypts. We will go ahead and check out some of these books we found. Nothing we really need in here. Monstrous Menagerie is a nice spell, but I don't think I'm going to memorize it. It's not bad to get, but with Horrible Things, it's almost a direct upgrade. Hopefully we get a nice treasure vault here. Huh. An Octopode zombie. You don't usually see these. But I suppose just about any zombie can spawn in here. I think I see at least one artifact ring in there. And we have a ghost. Caster Ghost. An Octopode Caster Ghost. I guess this is our mortal enemy here. He's an Earth Elementalist. Or he was. And he's also worshipping Sifmuna. A lot of conjurations here he can cast. We'd rather not be hit by a high spell power Iron Shot or Orb of Destruction, so I'm gonna have to play this a little bit careful. Of course, like everything else, Eldritch Tentacle should do the job of taking him out. Whoops, ran out of magic here. Let's use our Lightning Rod. Lightning Rod is interesting because if you use it twice, you have more damage from it. And of course you can also get more of an area of effect, but we're going to focus it on him because it'll do more damage that way. But I do see this Cursed Skull, and he can Torment, and we don't want to deal with that. So instead, let's take a step backwards. Let's just kind of walk towards our little friend here. If something particularly nasty gets summoned, or if we start getting tormented, we will teleport away, probably. But I'm trying to get... I'm teleporting. This is with the Flayed Ghost and everything. It's a little bit too much for me. There we go. We're a little safer now. There's not enough mana to deal with certain problems. It's best to run away and get your mana back. A teleport was probably not the safest move there, but, you know, we had at least one controlled blink. We could have drank a potion of magic and then blinked as much as we wanted. You know, whatever it takes to get somewhere relatively safe and get your mana back. I'm going to the second floor to rest because it looks like we've woken up a lot of the third floor. What I may do is I may devote, once I'm ready to do it, I may devote an entire video to Vaults 5. Not that I anticipate it'll last very long, but it kind of deserves its own little guidebook. A lot of popcorn on this floor. Because we're focusing on Iron Shot so much, we kind of run out of mana casting it. This is where if you want to do a pure caster god, Vehumet would be a little bit better because you would be regaining mana without spending an ability. Really, if we wanted to play a little less careful and not lure back to upper floors and things like that, we could get our mana back immediately just by using Channel Magic. It's not exactly immediate, but it's very fast regeneration. But I'm just kind of conserving my piety here, unless it's strictly necessary. There's no real need to use it. It might make things a little bit more convenient, but then again, I consider it safer to go back to the other floor. Just rest up. Cursed Skulls are probably the most dangerous thing you'll find in here, if only because they can summon creatures that are also dangerous, on top of tormenting you. Okay, now if I remember correctly, this is a special vault. As soon as I walk into here, these liches will be able to get out, like for whatever reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this door, and I'm going to do this. Okay, there we go. I don't like being in line of sight to all this stuff. Let's blink out. Yeah, see, we're getting... that's not good. We are getting... Unfortunately, we got tormented there, and this guy, if he wanted to, could hit us with a crystal spear and we would die instantly. Probably. Or at least with more chance than I would like. We kind of misplayed a little bit here. How did he get hasted? I don't know if he cast it on himself or if he was just hit by the tentacle. Well, we still have demissile up. So we're going to roll the dice and we're going to blink out of here. But if I had a scroll rather than just casting it, I would use the scroll just to guarantee it. But that's fine, we didn't fail. With only 4% fail rate, it's not so bad. Let's go down this other staircase and... Good. The tentacle seems to be killing some of these guys. And fortunately, now that we've cleared a little bit of that out and dropped the grates, we won't have to deal with so much stuff at the same time. That tormentor was actually summoned by one of the liches, or ancient liches. Really running through our royal jellies here, but there's still quite a lot of food for sale. It's just something you kind of want to keep an eye on, because it is possible, albeit unlikely, to run out of food and then you're just kind of out of luck. Oh, whoops. Don't want to be next to him. Let's let our abominations do the work on him. In fact, now that translocations is up to an appreciable level and spellcasting actually costs less experience to train, we're going to train a little more spellcasting and see if we can't get some spell hunger down. Spell hunger is really the only reason why I would want to stack some more intelligence at this point. And if you recall, we do have some plus intelligence rings lying around, even a +5 one, which is quite nice. So it's entirely possible that we will go back and put that on at some point. Got another book from Sif Muna. Nothing we really want. I mean, Glaciate is an option. We would have 3 spell enhancers, which is the maximum you can have. 2 rings of ice, or 3 rings of ice, or 2 rings of ice, and staff, rather. Even the staff that we're using now. Conjuration rather than ice. Same thing for the purposes of Glaciate. Ah, Curse Toe. That's interesting. Those can spawn in crypts. It's not terribly common, but they can. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We got 2 artifact rings. Hopefully no whammies. Let's see, let's drop some of these wands. And we'll keep one of the wands of acid. Okay, that's a good ring. That can replace one of our rings of protection from magic, because it gives us MR and it also gives us negative resistance and plus stealth, which we don't care about, but Can't hurt. How about this one? Hey, that's also good. So now we have 2 artifact rings. Unfortunately, we're already maxed out on negative resistance, but we may as well drop the plain protection from cold ring and wear the one with negative resistance as well. Because, yeah, we may not always be wearing this buckler of negative resistance. Right now our sources are 2 different rings, an amulet, and the buckler. So if we drop the buckler, we stay at 3 pips. It's never really a bad thing to have negative resistance if you don't lose anything by getting it. Reduces the efficiency of a lot of nasty spells, including Torment. Speaking of which, the Scepter of Torment spawned here. We're not using that, but if we were undead, that would be kind of fun. That's the one that can torment every step you take, or if you take a swing. Let's go get some food. Looks like there are a decent number of meat rations lying around now. So we'll switch to that being our main staple for a while. Assuming these random spawns don't cause us too much of an issue. The problem is the vampire mage can go invisible, and the abominations can't see that, so even if you order them to attack, they'll just kind of stand there, wondering what to do. Just doesn't want to die. Gotta break out the Eldritch Tentacle. This is why we really need some more spell power on Iron Shot. We'll go ahead and spend a little bit of money on meat rations. Unfortunately, that puts us a little further away from buying that manual, but gotta eat, or you die. Okay, we're... I think I am actually going to stop the video here. Since we cleared out Crypts and it's less than half an hour, that'll be a nice, relatively short video for these. And next time, we'll probably head into Depths, since our only options are Tomb, which we don't want to go into, Depths, or we could hit Vaults 5, which, maybe Vaults 5. We do have Controlled Blink to a reasonably low level. We will see, and that's it for now.